All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is September 9th, 2025. This is episode 958 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief. You may hear a little frog in my throat, battling through some sickness, but there is no days off, no time. Cyber doesn't stop for anyone. Neither does the Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. So let's keep marching on, everybody. Good morning. This is episode 958. If you are looking to stay informed on the top cyber news in our industry so you can be a better practitioner and you can crush job interviews and just stay informed, then you are in the right place, because over the next hour, me, you, Space Tacos, Augusta Delgado, Marcus Kyler, Sam Suyula, and Mara Levy, among others, are going to be crushing the top cyber news stories of the day, and I'll be doing everything within my capability to deliver value to you, both in the obvious headlines themselves on what's going on, but then going beneath those headlines to deliver additional value to you as far as, what are the insights of this? What's the perspective? I have 20 years of experience, so there are certain lessons learned that you can't get from a textbook or a classroom that you can only get from having lived it. And whether it's me or it's practitioners like Marcus or Steve McMichael, who's just dropping a brand new course this morning at Simply Cyber Academy, go check that out. Hot off the presses with an early bird discount as well, if you're interested in scoring that at 20% off. Whatever it is, we're doing it. It's a community-based vibe, and it's all about good times. So get in here, get comfortable, get your coffee, and let's party. Do you want to say shout out to Justin Gold and Haircut Fish? The mods are in chat. I'm looking to keep it cooking, guys. I do want to say every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE, so say what's up in chat. Grab a screenshot. Make sure you get that date in there on the screenshot. The only time you need the screenshot is if you get audited for evidence. You're not being a fraud. You're legit here doing the work, so grab those screenshots. You can get up to 120 CPEs every year by being part of the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief community, which is significantly more than you'll ever need per year. So get in there. Don't be shy. Good morning, Kimberly Can Fix It, mod extraordinaire. If today's your first episode, my friend, welcome to the party. Let us know in chat with the hashtag first timer. Again, listen, if it's your first time here, you heard from a friend, you stumbled on it, however you got here, it's absolutely awesome that you are here, and we'd love to know it because we have a special sound effect and a special emote for you. Hashtag first timer. Just let us know, and we will giddy up on that. Now, before we get into it, I do want to say thank you to Ryu Sek for the kind words about my health. I do want to say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors, those who enable me to buy Ricola throat lozenges so I could do this show and not be in utter pain. Starting with my good friend Eric Taylor and the crew at Barricade Cyber Solutions with their Fortify 365 solution, guys. If you are running an M365 instance and you haven't configured it beyond the basic vanilla build, you are taking on risk for no reason, right? It's like, what would be an example of this? It'd be like, I don't know, like my brain's not working right now. I was going to say having clothes and not taking the tags off after you buy it, but that's not it. There's no reason, right? If you buy a house and it comes with window and door locks, and you just like refuse to enable them when you buy the house, doesn't mean your house is going to get robbed, but you're taking unnecessary risk for no reason. Go to fortify365.com, check it out. Eric Taylor and the team can come in there and help you get configured to be secure and protect you from tomorrow's threats today. I want to say love to Antisyphon Training. Haircut Fish. Okay, bonus meme of the week. Haircut Fish digging in the crates like he's DJ Jazzy Jeff, pulling out the Ricola meme from 2023, I think. Nice pull, Dan Reardon. Okay, there you go. Bonus meme, everybody. Listen, Antisyphon training is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by hooking it up and keeping you. I'm not tired, Cyborg Hub. I'm sick. Antisyphon is keeping you up to date and informed. Go to antisyphontraining.com. Get their calendar of events. You can see what's going on. I want to call your attention to this because this is red hot. Today, tomorrow. Keep thinking it's Wednesday. Tomorrow at noon, Antisyphon Training is bringing you a piping hot anti-cast unraveling info stealer threat networks. You've probably heard of info stealers. They are so hot right now.
That hats are so hot right now.
Right? Do you guys remember that Luma info stealer rash that happened a couple months ago? Yes. Info stealers are real. Nick Ascoli, Eric Clay from Flair are going to come on. They're going to inform us everything we need to know about it. I could personally tell you I'm a huge Nick Ascoli fan. Love that guy's attitude and vibes. I'm actually going to be Jerry. I'll be part of the pre-show banter for this particular episode. So come on over at noon tomorrow and let's high five and hang out. It'll be all about good times. I'll drop a link in chat. I do appreciate Antisyphon Training, not just for sponsoring, but also for bringing this amazing content to the community. All right. Guys, every day of the week has a special segment, and Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday. So we're going to be dropping a little bit about me and see if we vibe on it at the mid-roll, and that'll be all about good times. Episode 959. I don't know. Kimberly, can we confirm what episode number it is? I can never see the episode number, so I don't know. In fact, I think, let me fix this, the date here. Okay. All right, let's hear from ThreatLocker really quick. ThreatLocker, platinum sponsor for the Simply CyberCon. Thank you, ThreatLocker. Let's go.
I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? But worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber.
All right, there we go. We'll hear from Flair Academy at the mid-roll. But guys, you know what time it is? Holla! It is time to let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. I'll see you guys at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
Did you guys see how that...
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Tuesday, September 9th, 2025.
I think I'm so cool because of this graphic overlay sliding in over chat and back out. I think it looks super slick. I don't know if anyone else cares, but it just tickles me.
I'm Rich Straffolino. Ghost Action campaign targets GitHub. On September 2nd, GitGuardian discovered that the account for a GitHub project they use internally, FastUUID, was compromised. That compromised account enumerated secrets from workflow files, then hard-coded secret names into the workflows. Looking into that particular compromise, the company found indicators of compromise indicating a larger campaign dubbed Ghost Action, impacting 327 GitHub users and 817 repositories. This campaign leaked over 3,300 secrets, including AWS instances, Docker Hub tokens, and NPM tokens. GitGuardian notified GitHub, PyPy, and NPM security teams about the campaign, with many already reverting repositories.
All right, super chat from Cyber Riskwitch. Cyber Riskwitch, ticket and hotel booked for Simply CyberCon. Looking forward to meeting everyone. Awesome. Look forward to meeting you too, Cyber Riskwitch. That's going to be fun. Thank you. All right, so okay. So GitHub getting compromised is not an uncommon thing, right? I even saw John Hammond yesterday on LinkedIn talking about NPM, like massive NPM compromise. So these code repositories, the shared code bases, it does lead to supply chain risk. I swear to God, I need to get a shirt made about supply chain risk because it's like, I feel like it's all I'm talking about now. And this internal group here, Get Guardian, uses this product named FastUUID for their own internal software, and the maintainer of that project was compromised. So think about it. It's like an external GitHub repo that gets imported to an internal one, and you're basically bringing it, not like a Trojan horse, but kind of like a Trojan horse. Like you're grabbing, Get Guardian is grabbing this FastUUID project, bundling it up and walking it through the gates into their internal area and deploying it into their code base. Now, they were able to discover that essentially it was compromised, and the threat actors had been able to pull out secrets from the code base. Now, what's really interesting is that they said they didn't see any indicators of compromise of the secrets being exfiltrated or used, which to me it's interesting because it reveals that the threat actors are in fact compromising the software code bases, but I believe that they don't fully know who all is going to introduce it to their internal code bases, right? So think about the easiest way, in my opinion, to think about this is think about phishing, right? When you send out like 10,000 phishing emails, you don't know who's going to click on what, right? You don't know what organizations you're going to compromise, etc. That's kind of like this. They're infecting the code base, but they don't know what companies and what developers are going to import it, versus a spear phishing attack where I target Mr. Shannon Wilson, figure out everything I can about Mr. Shannon Wilson, and then I send Mr. Shannon Wilson a very deliberate targeted email. And if Mr. Shannon Wilson falls for it, then I know I've got Mr. Shannon Wilson, right? Very deliberate, very precise, which would be, targeting code that I know for a fact that this victim organization is going to use. What I think happened is the threat actor very cleverly compromised the code base, and they don't know who they're going to get. And they got this Get Guardian company, but they didn't, basically they set traps, right? Set like crab traps out in the water, and they hadn't come around yet and checked their traps to see who they caught in their nets. So this particular victim, Get Guardian, appears to have discovered that they were compromised, and then, kind of disentangled themselves from the
become best friends. Yep.
From the problem before it was turned into a compromise. Okay. So this is one of those weird ones where they were compromised, but the actions on objectives never really manifested. Okay. Again, thank you, James. Thank you, James McQuiggan, for the super chat. He says, back in the lower 48 and slowly getting back into the swing of things. Love the new graphics and top stories featured, Jerry. It's a busy fall. On the road every week from now until Thanksgiving, including Simply CyberCon. That's right. That's right. James McQuiggan himself will be trick-or-treating with the Auger boys this year. We already got that sorted out. James McQuiggan with 20 gifted subs to the squad members.
Best friends. Yep.
I love it. So if you're running this FastUUID module in your environment, you definitely want to get this sorted out. If you don't know, but you do have DevOps in your environment, make your developers aware of this particular story. Honestly, they should be aware of this supply chain attack since it happens once a week. And the third thing for students, I want to just point out that it gets complicated. It's not like if threat actor detonates malware in your environment, you're totally pwned and your whole environment's screwed. A bunch of different things have to happen. All right, let's keep cooking.
Scam centers see huge growth in Myanmar. The Guardian reports that according to new research and drone footage, the number of industrial-scale scam call centers on the Thai-Myanmar border has more than doubled since the Myanmar military coup in 2021, with construction of new facilities underway at an estimated rate of 55 hectares a month. These facilities are run by criminal organizations, with Thai police estimating at least 100,000 trafficked people in these border facilities, lured in with the promise of jobs. These elaborate facilities are heavily fortified and contain luxury housing for management, as well as serving as social proof for investment scams.
Yeah. This is like a humanitarian crisis going on over here in Myanmar. So essentially, and there is a wonderful John Oliver last week tonight pig butchering video. Like, if you want to learn about pig butchering scams, okay, not butchering pigs like for pork products, pig butchering scams, this right here is a phenomenal episode. Here, I'm going to drop a link in chat. Come on. Oh my God, for Christ's sakes. All right, here we go. All right, so let's get back to this as a crisis. So here's the deal. Myanmar is like, the government's, I'm not well versed in, international politics and specifically Myanmar, but I will tell you that I know that lots of criminal syndicates are in power. I know that the government, based on the little I know, is, I guess I've heard the term like banana republic kind of thing thrown around. These criminal organizations lure people like individual Cambodians, Vietnamese, etc., to come work in Myanmar. And when they get there, they take their passport away, beat the crap out of them, and then put them on a call center and say, hey, listen, you need to scam X amount of money from, Americans or whoever every day, or the beatings will continue, or you won't get fed, or whatever. And they can't get away because they're basically, it's basically a slave camp, right? And they can't get away because their passport's been taken. They have no access to resources. What are they going to do? Run into the mountains? Like, good luck. And yeah, it's bad. And basically this story is pointing out that they're building aggressively more and more facilities to support more and more of this business. So this is a humanitarian crisis, like for the individuals who are being exploited. Then you can expect more text messages from someone like, oh, hey, are we still on for dinner Tuesday night? Oh, hey, I left my golf clubs in your back seat. Oh, hey, did Jan tell you about the thing at work? Like these stupid text messages that try to get you to respond. I would imagine with this increase in call center people, they're also going to increase their targeting attacks. I got a email today from a clear scammer telling me that they wanted me and Simply Cyber to like collaborate on some type of like video game, some type of video game or whatever. And I'm sure it's just a fish to kind of get the conversation going, et cetera, et cetera. So anyways, I will tell you, like, this is a really tough thing because, excuse me, you can't be like world police and dive in here and rescue these people, although it is a crisis. I will tell you one fun thing. I mean, as fun as it can be with this particular story, since this story is horrible, but one fun thing is that it's right on the Thai border, right? Like you could see here in the graphic. Where is it? You could see here, Thailand's on one side and Myanmar's on the other, and they basically are just separated by this river, the Moai River. Thailand did something really funny. Couple weeks ago, February 2025. I remember this because I thought it was, oh my God. You could see here, Thailand actually had control of the power going into some of these call centers. So Thailand basically cut the power and caused the call centers to go down. And honestly, it's an effective measure because without power, you can't make phone calls. You can't run computers. You can't send emails. You can't do anything. And there's no amount of beating the Cambodians physically that is going to make the power come back on. Now, of course, this was a small victory. Definitely not going to win the war because they just moved facilities and built new ones and probably put backup power in place. Little backup business continuity planning. Yeah, Myanmar's been in civil war. Myanmar's a tough place right now. All right.
Spies impersonate U.S. lawmaker to target trade groups. The Wall Street Journal sources say a campaign tracked to the Chinese-backed APT-41 orchestrated a campaign in July, posing as U.S. Representative John Molinar, chairman of the House Committee on the Chinese Communist Party. These emails were sent from a non-governmental address to trade groups, government agencies, and law firms with an attachment that appeared to be draft legislation and a request for input. An investigation by Google's Mandiant found that clicking on the attachments would attempt to install a backdoor. At the time the emails were sent, the U.S. was set to begin trade talks with China in Sweden.
All right, sorry. Chinese spies impersonating U.S. lawmaker. Okay, so APT-41. Guys, if APT-41 ever starts a YouTube channel, it's definitely going to be a must, like an auto subscribe if you're looking to learn espionage, right? Because they are good. They're very good at it, okay? So send out a bunch of malicious emails pretending to be John Molinar to get some information. Dude, how, come on, man. Like, if you are working as a friggin', what do they call those people on the Hill? Elliot Matisse. What is this? There's a term for it. Like the people who support like the representatives and the senators and stuff like that. It's like an entire ecosystem of people. If you're one of those, you're definitely a target of interest. Like, I don't know how you get a .gov email address and work in DC and not be like educate. Like, they should have must attend like monthly, quarterly awareness training. Yeah, staffers is what I was thinking of, not lobbyists. Although lobbyists could be targeted too. Thank you, team. Yeah, I mean, if these emails were pretty good, you get an email from someone looking to be a representative. You have, financial interests in them wanting to help whatever your agenda is. You're probably going to be moving quick. This is nation state level stuff, but it's really just garden variety phishing emails. I bet you any amount of money that these emails with like a cursory review would have been detected as fraudulent. Right? I bet you the email address probably looked fraudulent. The domain name, DMARC, DKIM, SPF probably failed. Now, there are techniques that we've seen recently that you can abuse Microsoft Azure to appear to be coming from internal. So it's possible that they did do some clever stuff. APT-41 is not a threat actor you want to mess around with. Like, they are legit good, like varsity team type stuff. So I'm sure they had some nice little accoutrements to go with their attack. But at the end of the day, guys, hold on. Why did I say prompt lock? I don't know. I screwed up the thing. At the end of the day, y'all, I know GRC isn't going to get a cool movie made. By the way, 30th anniversary of Hackers on September 15th coming up. Drink. GRC is not going to get a movie made, but like Jack Nicholson said, and A Few Good Men, you need us on that wall. You need GRC on that wall. We provide the awareness training and education. We are the buzz in your ear whenever you're opening an email and thinking, this seems a little too good to be true. I don't know what to do about this. Consistency. Thank you, Space Tacos. Consistency, vigilance, commitment. Again, you're not gonna get a friggin' participation award for doing the right things as a GRC person, but it's vitally important. That's how you catch these things. And if you don't do those things, you know what? Why would China or anybody insert threat actor here, Flaming Donkey? Why on earth would you develop a 0 day and do like next level technical exploitation? Why would you turn into Hugh Jackman in the movie Swordfish if you can just send an email? Threat actors don't care how cool their attack is. They care about results. Public mainstream people, they care about how cool the hack is. That's right, Marcus Kyler. The truth is, awareness training super valuable. You can't handle the truth.
Ugate targets IT firms. Researchers at Arctic Wolf detailed a new campaign with a new take on malicious advertising dubbed GPUgate. This campaign uses paid ads on Google and other search engines, which embed a GitHub commit in the page URL. This contains an altered link that points to the threat actor's infrastructure. This initially points to a 128 megabyte Microsoft software installer, while a GPU-gated decryption routine keeps its payload encrypted on systems without a GPU. This would stymie analysis of the malware on a virtual machine or other sandbox that doesn't typically have GPU resources. The payloads indicate the operators speak Russian, and the campaign exclusively targets IT and software development companies in Western Europe.
Yeah. So this is a classic attack. I actually just yesterday had to deal with some research around Google ads and misrepresentation and stuff like that. Good news is we got it resolved. Guys, basically threat actors, Russian in nature, are buying Google ads, right? So anyone can purchase Google ads, right? You know, when you Google something and you see sponsored next to it, Google's making that money, bruh.
Straight cash, homie.
And they will serve it up piping hot, and they will make it look like whatever you want it to look like, right? So we saw this. I saw this right at the beginning of the pandemic. Do you guys? I don't know if you remember. If you were around, I know we don't have 5-year-olds in chat, but like if you weren't paying attention at the time, in 2020, when COVID first exploded and people went home, everybody was getting on Zoom. Like, I wish I had bought stock in Zoom, not a financial channel or financial advice. I wish I had bought money in Zoom because it was like friggin', everybody was doing it. Threat actors knew it. So what they did was they bought Google ads, created a malware, called it Zoom.exe, and they were just serving it up. So when you Google like Zoom client or Zoom download or Zoom whatever, the malware was the number one result. And they got so many people because people are just like download, click, click, click. Boss said I got to get on Zoom. I've heard about Zoom. Zoom's got the fun background. Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. And then infect. So this technique is not any different. Honestly, the way that I deal with this one is a tough one because Google will say that they don't want this type of thing to happen, and they will take it down if it's reported, but they don't check it before it gets posted unless it's, obviously wrong. But for the most part, it's kind of trivial for threat actors to get this in here and then put a different website on it. So when you click through, it looks legit. You've got authority because Google returned it on the homepage of Google, on the first results of Google. And then you're sitting in a threat actor infrastructure that maybe looks like a legitimate infrastructure, like Office 365 or something. And you're basically infecting yourself. So educate your end users. Personally, I like to say scroll past the sponsored results until you get a non-sponsored result. But this one right here, it's a fake GitHub app. But with stuff like this, I don't want you to be like, oh, well, my finance team doesn't use GitHub, so I'm not going to bother telling my finance team about this because they're not going to be targeted. you can change what the app is. It's malware. It's wearing a costume for Halloween. It looks like a ghost today, which is interesting to the developers team. And tomorrow it's going to look like a pumpkin, which is interesting to the finance team. And the next day it's going to look like a witch, which is interesting to the executive team. You see what I'm saying? You just put on different clothes. It's a friggin' malware. It's not supposed to be a GitHub app. So don't get wrapped around the axle on what the malware is actually targeting, because a threat actor is just going to change it, okay? If you do work at an IT firm, you have a higher elevated risk of this particular attack, but the general attack is going to stay the same.
And now, thanks to today's episode sponsor, Vanta. Do you know the status of your compliance controls right now? Like, right now? We know that real-time visibility is critical for security, but when it comes to our GRC programs, we rely on point-in-time checks. But more than 9,000 companies have continuous visibility into their controls with Vanta. Vanta brings automation to evidence collection across over 35 frameworks, like SOC 2 and ISO 27001. They also centralize key workflows, like policies, access reviews, and reporting, and helps you get security questionnaires done 5 times faster with AI. Now that's a new way to GRC. Get started at vanta.com/headlines.
You take that name, GRC, out your mouth. All right, guys, check it. We got any first timers up in here? Holla. All right, we are at the mid-roll. I'm feeling better, but not great. Shout out to all you, Cyber Risk Witch, Pocket Pixie, Sean Kelly, Alpha Sierra, Roswell UK, the whole crew. Love it. So nice to see you. If you're a regular, but you don't, you lurk and you don't chat, it's good to have you here. I know there's a lot of people who don't chat because either A, they're Derek Welsky and they're on the elliptical, the treadmill, they're driving and they want to keep their hands on 10 and 2, whatever it is. Just know that I know that there's a bunch of people that don't chat, and I want you to know that you're equally included and welcome here at Simply Cyber. I want to say what up to the stream sponsors, Barricade, Antisyphon, ThreatLocker, and Flare. Flare Academy, guys. Every month, Flare Academy is bringing free high-end education and speakers to you, and I'm pretty excited to let you know that the next one that they have coming is on Russian cyber criminal forums, the ecosystem from inception to current day. If you want a masterclass on all things about the Russian cyber criminal forums ecosystem, this is what you're going to want, man. Oleg Lipko is going to be doing it. This is dropping on September 23rd, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Trust me, guys, you do not want to put on a hazmat suit and go into Russian cyber criminal forums. It's too much risk for you to take on. But knowing this information is incredibly valuable for you as a professional. So why not leverage this opportunity and take it on? September 23rd, go to simplycyber.io/flare, and it'll take you right to this page right here. Plus, I'll drop it in chat. If you go to simplycyber.io/flare, I believe that it will, there's like a little counter. So Flare will know that you guys are clicking on it, which is great. Great for the channel. So please click on it, please. Every single day of the week has a special segment. Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday, where I share a little bit about myself, see if we vibe on it. Trying to think of what to share. Guys, you know what? I'm a huge fan of the Midnight retro synthwave music, and they are releasing a new album on October 3rd. And one of the coolest things about them is they start dropping songs off their album early, and there is just a amazing song that I want to share with you. I probably listened to it like I listen to it often, like really often. I'm going to drop a link to it. I'd recommend you give it a shot, see if it's your vibe. It's so whimsy, so nostalgic, so good vibes. I love it. All right. Let me know if you like the midnight or if you're going to check the song out. But for now, let's go la 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 la. Alpha Sierra, lead us off, please. Thank you. Let's go, let's go. Feel it. Oh, nice. LeGrod, if that was your first time listening to the Midnight, may I suggest starting with the Endless Summer album and just hitting play and letting that play through. And then, I don't know, the Monsters album next, maybe Kids album after that. Oh my God, so good. So good. So glad that they're making music. They went on tour for a while. They released a couple songs that were just not my jam. And they're back, baby. All right, let's finish strong. Thank you, everybody.
iCloud Calendar used to send phishing emails. Bleepy Computer received word of this scam from a reader who received a message from no reply at email.apple.com advising that their PayPal account was billed and providing a support number to dispute the transaction. Calling the number would lead to scammers attempting to install some helpful software so the customer could log into their PayPal account to initiate a refund, aka rip them off. The attackers sent this message as an iCloud Calendar event to a Microsoft 365 email address. That address was itself a mailing list for a full list of potential victims. While the phishing lure is an extremely tried and true approach, the way it was delivered successfully passed SPF, DMARC, and DKIM email security checks.
All right. Clever, clever. Threat actors are always, getting clever. And this is just another one of the ones where you get an email of, an invoice of a purchase that you made, and they want, if you want to dispute it, call the phone number. As I mentioned earlier in this program, Myanmar is blowing up. Right? Like Biggie in the 90s. Call the number, same crib, same hood. Okay, drink. You're going to see more of this. That what they're trying to do is get you on the phone, and then they're going to rob you. And for better or worse, they figured out that if they send an calendar invite, an iCloud calendar invite, Apple's servers send it, which comes from an Apple domain, which will absolutely pass DMARC, DKIM, SPF because it's legit. Basically, Apple is sending that communication on behalf of the attacker. And all that's going to do is make it look more legit. All right. And that's all they're trying to do is get authority, get social proof, get authority. People are going to fall for this. Again, the silly thing is it's a calendar invite, but they make it look like an email. And I think they're just preying on people to say they're looking quick. They're not going to reconcile that it's a calendar invite. They're just going to say, oh, $600. I didn't do that. And they're going to call. I will tell you right now, this will definitely target elderly people. And they'll fall for it. And by the way, like once they get you on the phone, they're not just going to try to steal $599 from you. They're going to try to steal as much as they can. They're going to get you to install AnyDesk or TeamViewer or one of these remote management solutions. And then, they're wearing you like a pair of pants at that point. I don't know how Apple fixes this. I mean, obviously, Apple has the ability to fix this. But it almost seems like an inherent feature of like the ability to send calendar invites. Yeah. See, this is the rub. The threat actor includes the phishing text within the notes field. So This is a new one. What I would say is, hey, GRC people, this is a great opportunity. You should use this. You should use this exact one. I don't care who you're trying to educate. Use this one and point out to, you don't have to talk. Listen, my Aunt Dorothea, I love her to death. She, like, if I say DMARC, DKIM, SPF, her eyes are going to glaze over and she's going to fall asleep. Okay. So don't come at your end users with tech stuff. Come at them with, hey, this is, you could get an email like this and you're going to get robbed. All right. Okay. I have your attention. I would first say, listen, if you get an email saying that there's some weird purchase, chances are it's a phishing email. Number two, I guess I give you credit for looking at who the sender is and seeing that it's from Apple. But Apple, which is a Fortune 5 company in the United States, Apple is not going to send you this email. And do you see how it looks like a calendar invite? That's even more strange. So just have your guard up, right? Have your shields up. Again, just, every day, man, you got to be out here hustling, keeping people informed. Because at the end of the day, guys, threat actors are going to adapt. If we come up ways to defend or educate our end users not to do something, the threat actor is going to adapt. You know what you will not get? You're not going to get a threat actor who's like, you know what? The defenders, they got me. They got me. They educated their end users not to fall for the iCloud calendar invite phishing email. I guess I'll just go get a regular real job. They really got me this time. No, like, who the hell's going to say that? There's too much money in it.
Straight cash, homie.
Or they're in these like slave labor camps in Myanmar and they're getting beat and they just have to change. They got to change their tactics to survive. So the cat and mouse game continues. You gotta be careful.
Wealthsimple confirms data breach. The Canadian fintech firm said the breach exposed sensitive information on less than 1% of its clients. 30,000 customers had government IDs, social insurance numbers, and account numbers exposed. The incident was caused by a compromised third-party software provider and was detected on August 30th. All impacted customers were notified as of September 5th. Wealthsimple will offer the industry standard 2 years of credit and dark web monitoring and encourage all of its customers to enable 2FA.
How can you be a fintech company? How can you be a fintech company and not require your customers to use multi-factor authentication? That is gross. Oh, we can't add any friction. Okay. How much friction is it when you get robbed? Like, is that friction? Is that something you like? No, we got to be agile. We got to move fast. Okay. MFA, like, dude, MFA is mainstream. People are used to MFA. We're not asking for the moon here when we ask them to do MFA. If anything, you can literally wrap it up as a feature for your customers. Hey, we understand how important your money is. We do everything we can to protect you from criminals. Multi-factor authentication is one of those controls that we have gone above and beyond in order to protect you, customer. We love you, customer. Like, dude, I'm a simpleton and I can figure out how to brand this thing to make it a feature. Encourage. Makes me so mad. Also, shout out to Supply Chain Attack. Get the shirt, print the shirts. Supply Chain Attack. It's so hot right now.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
All right, so this company got hit. They're doing 2 years of credit monitoring, dark web monitoring. Whoop-de-doo. Throw it on the tire fire of all the identity theft. I do want to say quick shout out. I got a letter in the mail. I was a victim represented in a class action lawsuit for some company I never heard of that I had no idea how had my data. And if I would like to waive all my rights or whatever, they'll mail me a check for $30. I thought that was pretty impressive considering I've never seen payment for my data being involved in a data breach. I do want to say that it was like a $15 million lawsuit settlement. $30, dude. Get out of here with that. I'm sure the lawyers got more than $30. Okay. So TLDR, protect your data. Jeremy Williams and the Boo Boo Bus, 25 months. Let's go. Love it. Also want to see Night Ninja. Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
All right. How did these guys get popped? Can we figure that out first? Traced to compromised software supplied by a third-party vendor. Okay, there you go. That's it. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're taking on risk no matter what. This is why governance is so important. You can't just be slap happy throwing data around. Oh, we're all, everybody gets some data. No, like, dude, tighten it up because you don't know where your compromise is going to come from.
Pacer struggles with MFA rollout. Pacer is the U.S. government-run system used by U.S. courts to access court documents. It's a critical backbone to our legal system. Back in April, Pacer announced MFA would become mandatory on accounts that file documents or manage cases, and sent out a notice in August reminding users to enroll by the end of the year. According to reporting by the Register, some attorneys trying to enroll are seeing long website freezes when logging on, and support lines are hammered, leading to multi-hour wait times. As a result, Pacer lifted its end-of-year deadline and said it's switching to a phased MFA rollout. Users should not enroll until prompted by the system.
Yep. All right. So here we go. You're going to get this right here all day, every day is an example of MFA rollout and the challenge of MFA rollout. This is a lesson that you will never, ever, ever hear in a classroom or a textbook. I love MFA. Okay. I love MFA. I don't love it as much as NIST, but I do love myself some MFA. The problem is when you have an organization that doesn't have MFA in place and you go to roll it out, you would think technically you just turn the light switch on and now MFA is on. And if you want to access something, you'll figure it out. Also, yeah, that's technically how it works, but you are trying to minimize business disruption because the second you turn on MFA, you're essentially doing like a denial of service attack on your end user population. You should do a coordinated rollout where you communicate out repeatedly that it's coming, which a lot of people will ignore the emails until the day it happens. And then they're like, I remember seeing an email on that. You're going to have end users of different, what's the best way to put this? Different experience levels and education levels and technical capability that are challenged to properly enroll an MFA or understand how it works. So you have to meet them, like sometimes physically, and guide them, handhold them, walk them through it. You can make videos on how to do it. You can do all the things. Set up a call center, as they did, a call center so people can call in to get tech support. You can't just rely on support desk for this when you're rolling this out. The level at which this is a massive application with a massive user population, and quite frankly, they did a subpar rollout of it. I really think that they probably thought it was just going to be fine, and clearly it's not. 5 hours on hold is ridiculous. Having users try to enroll when it's not their corral, like that's another thing, right? If you have 100,000 users and all 100,000 try to do something at one time, that is a denial of service attack. It's like a hug of death. What they normally do is I don't know if they call them corrals in running. When you do a large race, they'll put runners in corrals so you don't have someone really fast behind the slow people and they just run over them. So you would say oh, hey, we're going to enroll the state of South Carolina on Tuesday and the state of North Carolina on Wednesday and Tennessee on Friday or whatever. Well, the problem is the people in Tennessee are like, well, hell to that. I'm getting in. And then they jumped in. So everything about this was a mess. I will tell you, as painful as it is to do this, they don't have a choice. They're they're effectively, I'm trying to think. Hold on. That's probably not socially appropriate to say. They're going down the water slide already. Okay. They are straight up. This is perfect. This Pacer MFA rollout is like going down a water slide, and they've gone around some. Did I just freeze on? No, they're going around some bend, and they flipped the raft over, and they're like on their belly with the raft on top of them. They're experiencing some problems. What they're not going to be able to do is stop the water slide. They're not going to be able to go back up to the top. They're not going to be able to reset. They're just going to keep hauling butt down the water slide, and all they can do is try to like reseat the inner tube, maybe push the inner tube and just go bare bottom down the water slide, whatever. But if you've ever been on a water slide and experienced some issues, you know damn well you're not going to fix it. All you can do is ride the lightning and hope. So Pacer will have MFA at some point soon. And thank you. And we'll be better for it, right? Pacer actually got compromised not too long ago. People have stupid, that's not open-minded. People choose to have poor passwords, which results in easy to compromise accounts, which results in me and you having to talk about stories of evidence in court cases being compromised. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Signal lets you back that chat up. The popular encrypted messaging app announced that a beta version of chat backups is coming to Android as both a free and paid offering. Users can back up 100 megabytes of chats and the last 45 days of media for free, while 100 gigabytes of media backups will also be available as a paid feature for $1.99 a month. Users receive a 64-character recovery key for chat backups that's generated on device. Signal does not link backups to a user or payment method. Cross-platform availability is in the works. This marks Signal's first paid feature. Until now, it only accepted donations.
Oh yeah, Signal backing that plan up, back that data up. Here we go. We're gonna let it fly for a minute. Drink. All right, so dude, Signal's great. Hold on. All right. Enough of that. All right, hey, really quick. So Signal, I love Signal. Here's the deal. This is clearly a feature that Signal wants, and since so many people are using it, there's probably been a demand from the community to have this capability. And even though Signal works on donations, this is clearly taking resources, taking money, taking effort, taking energy of them, and they require money to make it happen, right? Like, it's fun to be like, all about community and everything, but things cost money. Like, I love Simply Cyber community, right? But things cost money, right? So Signal offering a paid feature, I do appreciate. Well, it sounds like Signal's gone through the effort to make sure that they are, you can't get access to those backups. Because, like, to me, immediately, this would be a concern of like, oh, who can access my backups? Are the backups encrypted? Is there a data leakage problem potentially here, et cetera, et cetera? I don't think it is. I love Signal. I'm super pumped that I've been able to get several of my different kind of group chats that, I'm sure many of you also have like different kind of disparate group chats out there, right? I've got like my college friends, my South Carolina friends, work things, magic things, right? So I love Signal, and I've got a lot of people over on Signal. So that's what's up. All right, guys, where are we on time? Ooh, 8:54. Come on now. Here we go. Let's do this. Juvenile. Who didn't like a good Juvenile reference? You didn't think you were getting that this morning, did you? All right. Holla at you. Guys, I want to say thank you all for being here. Quick shout out. There is going to be Jawjacking today. I do have to go to the Citadel Military College to educate the youth of tomorrow, the leaders of tomorrow. We're talking denial of service attacks today at in class. I'll definitely talk about this Pacer MFA thing as well. Guys, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you guys got value from the stream today. I'm going to keep trying to get healthy, keep sucking on Ricola. If today was your first episode, I hope you come back tomorrow. I hope you got value from it. Don't go anywhere because we're going to be pivoting over to Jawjacking. Jawjacking's a 30-minute Ask Me Anything, but by me, it's the proverbial we, because it'll be Eric Taylor and from Barricade Cyber Solutions. So Eric is going to get you sorted out. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Have a wonderful day. And until next time, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
Yo, 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 what's going on? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Jawjacking. If this is your first time, as Dr. Gerald was mentioning earlier, my name is Eric Taylor. I'm with Barricade Cyber. We do digital forensics and incident response, as you've heard throughout the show sponsorship. So I'm here to give you some filtered responses, PG-13 as well. We try to maintain what we call Disney room conversation. So things that you would typically not say around the little ones, or want to yell out in typical scenarios when you're at Disney. This is the type of conversation we have. But I want to let you in on a little. So some things are happening in the background, and you know that we've been messing with podcasts and things of that nature and trying to come up with a series. And I think we finally settled on one. We're going through the final stages of, trying to make a bumper roll and or intro video and all that. But stay tuned. There is going to be a podcast that we're going to host around cybersecurity that is going to be unfiltered. And it's going to be called Brutally Honest Security. It's going to be a weekly show planned right now. May go every other week. We don't know. But we're going to give you the news of the week of things that we're seeing in ransomware and cybersecurity and things of that nature. And I'm going to give you a completely unhinged, unfiltered version of things like that. So, poor Kimberly will have to learn how to do some editing, I'm sure, with the bleeps, so that way it is YouTube appropriate. But it will be probably, I don't know, we're trying to gamify, or trying to figure out the logistics. Are we going to put it on Zoom and record it there and let it fly and then edit it for YouTube? Or one thing I was thinking about last night is, do we record it, put it on Patreon, and charge like $1 or something? Because Patreon requires at least something to be on there, so you can get the raw, uncut video on Patreon or some other stuff. Ooh, I know. Oh, this is bad, and I'm probably going to get fired for this, but could you imagine me putting this on a certain type of fans page that's designed primarily for adult content? But I'm just being brutally honest. I know that page is not just for adult content. There's other stuff that's being promoted over there as well. But could you imagine if I put that over on the fans page? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. So yeah, we definitely have some stuff coming up. I've been asked also to be on SANS ransomware discussions coming up next month. We're going to be going through the steps of incident response. So SANS puts on a monthly ransomware podcast, and you may have been a part of that and been able to show it, but your guy is going to be a guest host with a couple of SANS instructors, Ryan Chapman and Marie Sonig. I can never pronounce her. She teaches the 500 course, and she's coming up with a new AI course, so it's going to be good. Also, the put your questions in there. Put a Q colon mark with your question, and I'll do my best to answer it. And something that you should be aware of. Oh, so here, I'll share this with you. So hopefully Miss Kimberly doesn't get brutally mad at me. But this is the working concept for, as you can tell, we were talking about this last year, and it's just kind of come to fruition. So I think this is what it's going to look like as a podcast episode bumper. So a little insight. But if you are not following me on LinkedIn, you probably should, because I dropped a little nugget yesterday. If you partake in the home media distribution software, I guess is a proper way of calling it, called Plex, you may want to get in there and let me change. I do like the way that this thing but why did you do that, Restream? I wanted, hold on. Trying to learn a Restream thing real quick. Maybe it's because of the window size. Hold on, let me try something. I think I know what I did wrong. Oh, that's definitely not the way that I wanted my screens to lay out. Holy McMoly, why'd you do that? Windows 11 gets quirky sometimes. So if you're used to using Power Tools, an app called Power Tools, where you can be able to, resize your windows and make it more cohesive, especially when you have a larger real estate for a desktop experience, then you're used to Power Tools. And so, but Windows 11 made it native in there, and sometimes when you go to resize things, it just doesn't work very well. So let's try it this way. I think this is going to give me what I want. So, that did work. Very, very cool. So I'll post this in chat. And definitely go give me a follow, ladies and gentlemen. But Plex put out a notification advising all their users that they have suffered a security incident that may have potentially involved your Plex account information. How fun. But this is something that, like I said, this is always standard practice to immediately change your passwords, enable 2FA, MFA. Plex does not have MFA capability, but it does have 2FA. So definitely consider rotating your passwords, getting things set up the way that they need to be more cyber secure aware. Definitely don't sleep on this. One thing I recommend for a lot of organizations is you can never assume just because you had a secure password and a 2FA or MFA enabled that you're okay. Rotate it, because we never know how the incident may have potentially happened, but it's possible that a security incident leaked out your 2FA, your TOTP code, so that way they can still get in, they can gain access. So rotate your password, rotate your MFA, 2FA, get your backup codes, just cycle it. And there's some sort of automation schedule reminder that you can put in on your calendar. I know it's very painful. It really, really does suck to do this, but going through all of your accounts at least once a year, I'd strongly recommend, if you have the bandwidth, doing it every 6 months. And I know it sucks. God, does it suck. It really, really sucks. I think I've said sucks enough, right? But it's really that bad. And I know why people don't want to do it, because it sucks. But definitely attempt to do that, please, ladies and gentlemen of the audience. Yep, get your backup codes and don't save them on your account. Yeah, this is true. This is true. Christopher Young, dude. Very few people have seen the unhinged version of me. And I do have a business to run. I do have a business to grow. So I can't be full potty mouth. But I am going to speak my mind and call it for what it is. And somebody needs to do it. There's been a lot of podcasts out there that have skirted the line. I give zero trash about lines. I'm just going to say how it is. And that's the one thing that I think that a lot of people have really gravitated to Barricade Cyber and to me is because I don't sugarcoat crap. I really, really don't. I call a spade, and we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, and we're going to address it. This is really how we, in my personal opinion, this is how you create effective cybersecurity changes. You freaking point out that daggum elephant in the room and you talk about it. All right, let's see. I'm sure we have some questions. Let me do my Control F and Q colon. Well, why do we only have 2? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure y'all got some goofy questions for me. Familiar with the CRISC exam, doing it in October and getting overwhelmed with all the info. I am not familiar with that exam, John. Let me do a quick Google search and see what this is. Certified in Risk Information and Control Systems. So IC3, okay. Yeah, ISCASA, okay. That's pretty cool. Well, I will tell you, John, good, or at least congratulations on taking the initiative for the certification. And really, the best of luck to you. There's definitely more people that are needed in the IC3 space, and being able to take care of critical infrastructure like that is a much needed type of thing. So you being able to stand out in the industry to say, yep, I not only know what I'm doing, I've been doing it for X number of years, but I went over here and got this piece of paper to show that, I kind of know what I'm doing over here. Just, brush that dust off your shoulder, right? But I mean, seriously, congratulations to you for at least attempting on it, and crush it, dude, crush it. I've learned over the years, everybody's learning style is completely different. For me personally, I do a lot of flashcards, a lot of definition flashcards, and a lot of scenario flashcards, and I will literally just mix them up, and then I get a big metal ring and I get a hole punch, and I'll just hole punch like the index card and just put it on this big freaking like 2-inch, 3-inch ring, how many index cards ever I have. And as I'm studying, I'll just flip them. And you keep them all together. They don't get to be a big mess, but I'm constantly looking at it. I'm constantly going through it. And I do it from both sides, right? I do the answer, try to do the definition, try to do the answer. I'm doing it from both sides. And I'm just doing what I can to familiarize myself and master the terms, the definitions, the commands, everything like that, right? And one is to like ace that freaking test. Like, I mean, it just go in there like you're Superman and just rip, and just nail that freaking thing. But it's also going to translate because it's going to become muscle memory. You're going to remember those certain things when you're in the industry, things that you may not have known before, but you're definitely going through. You're making it a habit. So again, that is my personal learning style. If you don't have one and entertaining new ideas, definitely consider that. Like I said, like a 2 or 3 inch ring, metal ring, and a 1-hole punch with a bunch of index cards, and just start writing stuff out and putting them in there, and just, you know, literally I would just start, that's just my style. But again, you do what you feel is going to work for you. But again, hats off to you, man. Really. What's a story? What's a story that has not been in the headlines that you think we should know about? Roswell, UK? Sure. Let's see. So I don't think this has been talked about yet. Give me a second. I need to find the link. Talks amongst yourselves. Because this story just came out yesterday. So I don't think it's hit CISO series yet. And I haven't had a chance to fully digest it yet. But I'm going to put it into chat. And we are going to share my screen. So you'll no doubt be able to hear about this tomorrow or in the next couple of days on CISO series, and being able to get Dr. Gerald Auger's intake on this particular one. But let me actually do this. So stop a ransomware before it starts. Listen from CISO Talos incident response. If those who are not familiar, we do talk about Unit 42, which is, you know, I do even have some cool swag. You know, old bottle opener from Palo Alto, Unit 42, stress ball for Unit 42. This is actually a really good one. I do have, I think Kimberly and Lisa are both getting these right here, but this one I really like. You've had stress balls, and you know, it's always that like Orby thing or whatever, but this one's like a real nice for, I don't know where Unit 42 got this particular one from, but it is very nice. It's kind of faded on the tag. I'll have to see if I can use my camera, but anyway, so Talos is the incident response, the security NOx oxide for Cisco. Sorry. So over the past 2.5 years, January 2023 through January 2025, their incident response Talos IR has responded to numerous engagements where it's classified as pre-ransomware incidents. All right, what is a pre-ransomware incident? You may ask. Well, thank you for asking that, ladies and gentlemen. That is literally what we call it. It's either someone doing 0-day development or proof of concept, or it's an IAB, initial access broker. So someone's getting access into the environment, and it's pre-ransomware. They're getting a lay of the land. They're potentially dropping RATs, RAT, or remote access tools, and being able to sell off that access to a ransomware group for payment. So that is that's part of the pre-ransomware incidents. Are there other things possibly that's just not coming up to my mind? So, you know, they look back to analyze what key security measures were credited with deterring the ransomware deployment in each of the ransomware engagements. So this thing really does go through some pretty cool stuff, and it really is a good read for consideration when you're building out, you know, how are we preventing, or what type of detections are we detecting in our ecosystem. You know, again, I did a cursory review of this thing, and it was really good. Again, this just came out yesterday. I cannot stress this enough. Deploy Sysmon for enhanced endpoint visibility and logging. It does help us out on forensics so much. So it really is. It's a good one. It's not very in depth, but it does give you a 30,000 foot view of kind of the stuff that they've seen, and it's really, again, I think it's a really good report. Let's see. From Shane. Hi, Eric. Speaking of TOT, TOTP, MFA. Can I have more than one provider? Meaning, I lost my phone and lost my auth key. Can I have another TOT MFA or TOTP MFA provider on my desktop? Yes, actually, you can. So, you have to have everything available at the time of doing it, because when it generates that QR code, you're going to snippet that master key that's typically right underneath it, or if it doesn't provide that, then whatever, you'll have to do an image capture of the QR code with all the different apps to set it up. But yes, absolutely, you're not limited to a certain amount of third-party providers that are doing it. What I would say though, and what's gotten a lot of people in trouble with this, is like, let's say you're using Duo and you're using Microsoft Authenticator and you're using Authy, throwing out 3 names there. They don't log out of the account after setting it up on all 3 platforms, or 4 or 5, whatever your magic number is, and logging back in and verifying the TOTP code works for each of those platforms before moving on to the next thing. And that's really very, very important, is because you may have it set up and believe it's set up on all the platforms, but for some reason the QR code is not generating the TOTP code properly in 1 or 2 of the applications, and it's caused a problem, and you lost the ability for logging into your primary, let's just say Microsoft Authenticator, for example, or Google Authenticator, and you're relying on those other 2, but they never work right to begin with. So as you go through and you set things up, verify it works for everything. So log out, test the TOTP code for application 1, application 2, application 3, and make sure that they work. Also with TOTP code, make sure you are waiting for that code to cycle, because a lot of times they are good for 30 or 60 seconds. I forget off the top of my head, but if your multiple applications are generating the same code, then, or the same digits, then of course it's going to work at that time. Let it cycle the TOTP code to something else and see if it's working. Well, seriously, it's even got me into trouble a couple times. So after the first time, I learned that one pretty quick, ladies and gentlemen. If you could instantly speak another foreign language, what would it be and why? French. So I know I started learning the French language in high school, and I still remember a lot of the French alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So I know some of it, and I know some of the words, but yeah, it would definitely be French. It's just the culture and how wide first, like even I know it's a different type of French, but there's French Canadians and things of that nature. So the French language and the French culture has always been interesting, and things of that nature. So not saying I'll ever go live there or anything, but definitely go there and visit, the whole Eiffel Tower, and to potentially, I am one of those people that I don't like to be in the tourist areas, because to me, I could call me a conspiracy theorist, but I believe that puts me as a target. So if being able to speak the local language fluently, even if you're not exactly right with the accent, being able to get by enough, that way it's like, okay, they know you're a tourist and you don't live here, but you know the language very well, so they'll kind of help you out a little bit. But a lot of times you're able to see hidden treasures of the city that you typically don't see, like almost like an Easter egg in a game, right? So, but anyway, French would be definitely it. Do you know where there are some fees to? Ooh, No, I don't. I was just thinking back about it, Jazz. Yeah, I don't know of any. And here's something that's going to be brutally honest. Do you really need a CEH? Honestly, do you? I would argue no. I'm going to tell you why. I had my CEH. I did pen testing for a number of years. You want to know the number of times that people actually asked me to show them my piece of paper for my CEH? And I did hundreds, if not thousands, of engagements. It didn't stop me from doing bug bounty. It didn't stop me from being listed on the Hall of Fame for TeamViewer. Your mileage may vary. I mean, don't get me wrong, learning CEH, for those who don't know, CEH is Certified Ethical Hacker. Is it worth it? Sure. It helps round you out in some of the skills that you may not know. But actually, going through the course, I should say. But to actually take the test, I don't know if there's really any benefit. I don't know. But you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't see why Black Hills webinars and things like that, their Red Team Summit and all that, would not count as a CEU. Honestly. Even their Blue Team. Why wouldn't that count as CEU? Continuing Education Unit or credit. Some of this stuff for Simply Cyber could probably do it as well. Definitely Black Hills, man. Definitely Black Hills. Definitely. Trying to Dream Divine, good morning to you. Let's see. From Alice, what lab did you do that you found the most fun and the most intriguing? You know what? I don't say it's a lab, but the what Sans calls capstone and what a lot of other people call capture the flag. I find those to be extremely fun and intriguing, right? Because they put up so much different stuff, and it really does test your skill set and your knowledge and forces you to think in certain different ways. I really enjoy those. So capstone course, the end of a course where you're doing your capstone or capture the flags. I do enjoy those a lot. I do find those a lot of fun, and it drives me nuts a lot when I don't get there, right? I'm like, no. Let's see, from Night Ninja, and just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is live, so we are coming up toward the bottom of the hour, so we will be cutting this thing off in a few. But hey, Eric, what advice would you give a network engineer that's trying to transition from malware analysis, security research, transition to malware analysis security? I've completed the TCM course and attended the corresponding. I would Night Ninja. If you're a network engineer, does your current organization have that role? I would try that. I would also try to see if you can, do some weekend work. A lot of times, a lot of folks are always willing to take on weekend interns or apprentices and stuff like that. So, because they can always use help on the weekends, and you don't have the ordinary hustle and bustle of the office life, so to speak, throughout the week on the weekends. So, are you going to give up a lot of your free time of touching grass and smoking meat and barbecuing steaks and stuff? Absolutely, but it is for the overall good and longevity of your career. So definitely take a look at that. And oh, 10-4, thank you so much. I've just got notification that we can go a little long, but I am getting a ping. Oh, Justin's handling that. Okay, cool. I did just get notice. Thank you, Kimberly, for letting me know that we are able to go a little long. So, where was I? So yeah, I would intern, right? I would try to do some internship and apprenticeship, things of that nature, and on the weekends to see what's going on. I have heard. I love the raw take on CEH testify. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why we're doing Brutally Honest Security podcast, because people want unfeathered, real world comments, and I'm so looking. The people who know me know I go unhinged a lot, so it should be a good time. What foundation would be best to get into bug bounty? I don't understand that question, Alice Grimm. What foundation would be best to get into bug bounty? Are you talking about like a platform? If so, I would do BugCrowd or HackerOne. But when you say the word foundation, I'm thinking of a cybersecurity framework as a foundation. And that's not resonating with me at all. And you don't need a framework or a foundation to get into bug bounty. But if you're looking about a platform, go to HackerOne, go to BugCrowd, and start testing and having some fun over there. How do you deal with a coworker that tattletales? Stop talking to them. Nuke and pave them. Not with literal nukes, of course, but you get the idea. But yeah, I don't put up with that crap. Like, so, all right. How best to talk about this? So, okay, gossip is when employees talk amongst themselves, or what I call team members. They talk amongst themselves about a problem, and it's just to complain and bring morale down instead of bringing it upstream, up the corporate ladder to get a resolution. So is this coworker just being petty, which is what I assume most of the time, just trying to cause problems, and trying to make themselves look better than what they really are? That's what I'm going to assume. But I would just try to expel the person as quick as possible, because if that coworker is aggravating you, then I'm sure that's aggravating other team members of the organization, and there's just no room. It's just gonna drive the company apart. From Kishinin InfoSec, does open source XDR SIM Waza, is that how you spell it? I forget. At home have transferable benefits? Yeah, absolutely. So the being able to query and being able to understand what the results show, huge benefit. So you're going to have a different querying language and format and syntaxes when you go from Waza to OpenSearch and Elk and Splunk and Logstash and just all the other ones, right? They all got their own querying language, much like Microsoft SQL and MySQL, the Linux versus the Microsoft versions of SQL databases. But the concept is the same. And being able to generate tables as a report and things of that nature is all the same. So, yes, it definitely has much transferable benefits. That's what we kind of go back to, having that core understanding of things. And that's really where it does make massive benefit. I think I need to start starring ones that I've already answered. Again, we are running a little bit over time, but it's because we don't have a video at 9:30, so we can hang out here for a few more minutes. I do know I got a client call in a little bit. Yep. So I can't stay on for long, but if you do have a question, a follow-up item, definitely put it in there. And I'm just going through the questions and starring them just to make sure I've got all of them, right? So from Christopher Young, I'm under the impression that most email providers these days have DMARC, DKIM, and SPF already in place. No. For the young folks in cyber, when would we need to be concerned about them not being there? Right now, yesterday, last week, last month, last year? So, SPF is set at your DNS level. Well, so is DKIM and DMARC. It's a DNS record between that and your email. So that's why it's not set up by default, right? Because especially like DKIM and DMARC, you need your email provider to provide that information so you can put it into your public DNS records. And you need to monitor your SPF records of what's allowed to send as a benefit of the organization. So yeah, it's two different roles handled by two different layers of the deployment aspect of things. Because like Microsoft doesn't do, I'm going to say this very carefully, does not do domain registration DNSs. To my knowledge or understanding, that's more of like Cloudflare, GoDaddy, Namespace, Namecheap, whatever, Rackspace, all those other organizations that you could do your domain registration at. They offer the public DNS records that you point to everywhere. If you are taking the Fortify classes that we were talking about, I personally like putting our DNS records in Cloudflare. It makes it very, very easy. Except for the webinars link for the Fortify 365, which is driving me nuts this morning. If you're trying to register for the Fortify 365 stuff, just go to webinars.barricadecyber.com for the moment. I'm working on fixing the URL. Everything's wanting to go to the Fortify 365 landing page, and it's driving me nuts right now. So if you're trying to get in there and you're trying to get the Fortify, go to webinars.barricadecyber.com. We do have everything there. So let's see. But yeah, Christopher Young, start worrying about it. And I'm getting pinged on something. Bear with me in 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, because I know it's Miss Kimberly talking about something that's probably trying to get my attention on. Oh yeah, so the webinars.barricadecyber.com. Yep. And we do have a session coming up this week. It's we are going into, is it this week? I don't see it on my calendar. That's a problem. But I do know we're going into the second part of the Microsoft Defender, I believe, Part 2, and being able to get that taken care of, or wrapping up that little bit of series. So if you are part of that and want to have it automatically added to your calendar, we are using the Zoom platform for that. So go over to webinars. I'll even share it here. Entire screen. Come here. F11 down. And like I said, you go to webinars. And even if you spell it wrong, or if you don't put it, the S or the non-S, if you do singular or plural, and I'll show you, this kind of messes up. It completely jacks up and goes. Oh, now that works. Maybe I did fix it. Whatever. All right. Give me a second. Maybe right before I actually figured out what was wrong, and it just took some population time. That's another thing. DNS records, population time is a real issue. So webinars.fortify, because we want to make sure webinar and webinars both. Oh, cool. Now is the fortify365.com resolving? Okay, so that one doesn't resolve. Okay, whatever. I honestly don't care if that one resolves or not, to be honest with you. The webinars is more important to me. So webinars.fortify365.com will take you to here. Like I said, session 3, this is for tomorrow. Oh, that's why, because I was looking at the wrong day. It is on my calendar. I was thinking for some reason Thursday. I'm not sure why it's showing, whatever. But yeah, session 3.5, just because this one already went 2 hours into it. So I was like, all right, we at least got another hour. So I decided to split it up a little bit. So we did end up pushing it back. So Defender for Microsoft Office Part 2, it's going at 11 o'clock. So literally you just join it. Mine's probably because I'm logged in. But you'll register, it'll add you to the calendar, so that way you don't miss anything as well. If you want to see what all of the webinars that Barricade Cyber is putting together, we do have webinar.barricadecyber.com, which redirects, if I can actually spell even my own company name. How about that? And wait for the internet to populate. Wait for the internet to populate. Wait for the internet to populate. There we go. So yeah, we got the recurring series, the ransomware monthly update, which this one will go away because I think we're going to switch this over to the brutally honest one. I don't know if there's really a need for both of them right now. So I'm not sure if we're going to be putting that in Zoom or whatever, but anytime you want to see what kind of stuff we got coming up, that is the spot for it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, I answered that question, I answered that question. And I answered that one. Getting caught up on the questions. We are going to wrap this up in a minute. But I do appreciate all the questions that have come in. My CTI feed in my other window is blowing up. So something is hitting the news. Let's see. I'll go and check it out real quick. I'm not going to bring it up on because it's all TLP red and pretty strict too. What is this? Hot off the presses, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just do a cursory review of this. Relay a quest, I guess is how. Okay, let's share this with the class, ladies and gentlemen. So I just put it into chat. And again, we're both seeing this pretty much for the first time together. And I'll go full screen on this one and zoom in. So threat spotlight, speed scale, and stealth, how Axios powers and automates phishing. If you're not understanding what phishing is, these are emails that go to your inbox or your user's inbox that try to get you to sign in with your credentials to a platform that a threat actor wants access to. Axios user agent actively surged from 291% from June to August in 2025. June, July, August. So 3 months, you had a 241% increase. Holy crap. Has identified an autonomous server and stolen credentials that likely on it. Okay. Yeah, this is some good stuff. Explosive growth across multiple detections between June and actively tied to Axios as a user surge has far exceeded the growth across. This is more than like Evil Jinx and some of the other ones have even gone into. So my buddy Brandon sent this over into our CTI chat. Attackers go to for scalable phishing. So yeah, I do. Ooh, I wonder. I wonder if our favorite hacker in the whole world, Tyler, is using or has used Axios. Tyler, are you watching? Tyler. Ooh, speaking of Tyler, he's got a new course coming out that I tuned in the other day. And I'm not sure how he's setting it up yet, but we are donating, what was it, 5 or something? I forget the number that we did, but trying to help him, get out on his own and his feet wet, and some of the stuff he's putting out is awesome. And I'll get a little biblical on you here. I don't care. But I firmly believe as a Christian that God has blessed us with, money and ability to do a lot of things that we are to bless others with it. And, this is through charitable donations and the whole philanthropy thing of stuff, right? So, I do a ton of that stuff. And, when we can do things like sponsor for Wild Ball Hackin' Fest, tickets and courses and stuff like Tyler, and we've done it for Simply Cyber and stuff. So it's kind of what we do. So I know Tyler's supposed to get in touch with me and get me an invoice and all that stuff. But if you've been looking to get on to some of his new training that he's putting out, definitely get with him and find out what his requirements may be to get registered for. I'm going completely out on left field and assuming he's doing a raffle of some sort. I don't know what he's doing. Last time I logged into Discord, I didn't see any messages from him, so I'm not sure if he really took my offer as serious or not. But hey, back to this topic, because I ADHD a lot. We do actually have some IoT or IOCs, which I always love IOCs. If you are in the security and NOC department, you should definitely love IOCs as well, because now you can go in to your EDR or your SIM of choice and start looking. Was any of this stuff possibly, if seen in any of your environments that you manage, and being able to see if there's a possible victim inside of anything that you're doing. So yeah, definitely take a look at that. That's something to be sharing out. New report up on Gentleman ransomware group. A lot of stuff is going on in the news these days, ladies and gentlemen. New ransomware groups are spinning up, and we'll be talking about that, some of the metrics and things like that. All right, last call for non-alcoholic questions. How you like that? How'd you like that spin? Last call for non-alcoholic questions. Oh, I missed this from Kyle. Any CTI certs worth putting on your resume? All of them. All of them. For me personally, and again, I will... Again, this is me personally, the owner of Barricade Cyber. When I look at resumes, I love to look at the top at your continuing education, because that tells me right away if I should look in that resume further for your actual skill sets. Like, what is Kyle doing to continue his education and further learning? And is this a resume worth further review? To me, again, I love Cliff Notes type of things. That's probably why I like flashcards, like I was telling the other participant. Me having that stuff up at the top, I personally love that information. I don't know what other people view and like. I'm willing to wager, though, that more smaller business hiring people, or people hiring inside of a smaller business, to use some proper English there or proper phrasing, would probably prefer your continuing education and things of that nature toward the top before getting into all of your degrees and employment history and just all that stuff, right? I actually got this. Do I have a Sharpie near me? Because I don't want to dox this person. And I actually need to call this kid and let him know where he kind of messed up at. Let's see, can I... I'm just going to have to do it this way. So, literally, I'm going to hold this thing back. You see stains on here? Yeah, he comes in, professional summary, technical skills. Well, I can't read backwards. Technical experience. And then on the back, I've got education. And make sure that that stuff doesn't bleed through. All right. Now, is it possible that, because I didn't get it directly, this individual dropped it off at our new office building, and we got a secretary up front for like mini stuff, and maybe she dropped something on it or something. I don't know. I'm gonna chalk it. I would like to think somebody doesn't do that, but again, like I'm like, granted, this person is just trying to get into the industry, but we're not looking for that green of a person. Were you able to hit my email? Yeah, I think I did, just Christopher Young. Yeah, I went to nauseam about that. We are coming up to the top of the hour, so we are going to bow out. Okay, from Alex. Is being an incident responser an entry-level career? No, absolutely not. I can just stop. I can stop right there. It's not entry-level. Incident response is not entry-level. Unless you consider a SOC analyst entry-level. I personally don't, but I see a lot. I can see where a lot of people will consider that entry-level. me personally, I do think you need to understand more about essentially what looks right and what looks wrong before you can become a SOC analyst. Like, you at least need a year or two in the help desk. Me personally. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how you like that? 50 minutes, jawjacking, mostly unfiltered. Talked about some of the new stuff that you're not going to see on the news for another couple days. Hopefully CISO talks about it and Dr. Gerald Auger, but definitely take that request and go tag Tyler. Say, hey, Eric talked about this. Are you using this? Love to get your insights on it. I would love it. And if he comments on that, tag me on LinkedIn as well. Hey, Tyler talked about this. I'm pretty heads down right now. So yeah, and even Justin, who works for Barricade Cyber, I wouldn't want to be a SOC analyst for my first job. Yeah. And Justin's doing kind of some SOC analyst stuff right now. We're kind of having him tip his toes in there. We're working on becoming more of a structured organization, because we are trying to scale and putting people into buckets. But yeah, he's been in there. It's never a fun day. Oh yeah, it's been a while since we've done the sea shanty. Absolutely, Sean. We will do sea shanty, and then we will close out for the day. Thank y'all so much again for tuning in. Go follow us on the socials at Barricade Cyber or Ransomware. Most of the if you look for a ransomware username, it's me. Barricade Cyber is for the company. And definitely go register for Fortify 365 webinar. We're going to be continuing that through the rest of the year. And you can build advance your 365 tendency. So with that, y'all take care of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure seeing y'all. It definitely feels good to go long again and being able to hang out with y'all a little bit longer. So I do enjoy these breaks in the seasons. So with that, y'all take care of yourself, and I'll see y'all next week. Stay curious, my friends, and go touch some grass.
There once was a kid whose passwords laid across all sites. They were the same, a criminal then found their fame by taking that data to go. Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your account and go.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.
Get out of here, you filthy animal.